Iraqi women standing together, but not standing alongside men. This is how the leading Shia cleric Muqtada al-Sadr says Iraqis should protest against government corruption, high unemployment and US troops based here.
Muqtada Sadr is not against women protesting, but he is against some illegitimate acts that happen in the protest camps.
Al-Sadr says protests should be segregated. He tweeted that demonstrations have become mired in nudity, promiscuity, drunkenness and drug use. Some of al-Sadr's female supporters on this march in Baghdad's Sadr city agree.
We've been protesting since October with our sons and brothers, but according to the ways accepted by Islam, we protest and create our revolution, but within limits and values which are accepted by our religion.
Al-Sadr led armed groups against US forces during the 2003 Iraq war. Now he leads a Shia political bloc in Iraq's parliament. He first backed anti-government rallies when they reignited in October. But when demonstrators refused to accept Mohammed Alawi, al-Sadr's favourite to succeed the current Prime Minister, Adel Abdel Mahdi, al-Sadr stopped supporting the anti-government protests. His paramilitary forces are accused of turning on the protesters they were originally protecting. Al-Sadr's demand for gender segregation in protests was largely ignored in rallies in Baghdad on Thursday by men and women who marched together.
After his last tweet, we thought it was positive because no one responded to it. All the people see segregation between genders as an old idea, which leads to more problems and submissions.
Several weeks ago, Muqtada al-Sadr called for a 1 million-man march, but the numbers which turned up to that weren't anything like what he'd hoped for. The numbers on protests generally have been dwindling since they began back in October, but people are going to be watching very carefully about the numbers who turn up at this protest, in case it might give some sort of indication about whether or not the Shia cleric's influence in Iraq is changing. Men and women who protest in Iraq say they share a common purpose in opposing the government and demanding change, but they seem divided about how they should make their voices heard. Rob Matheson, Al Jazeera, Baghdad.